Hello, I wanted to show off an idea I discovered when I wanted to try making it so you could actually fuse some objects together. So let's say like you wanted to have a character that could swap out limbs or appendages or just things you actually wanted to attach correctly in geometry so they weren't just like clipping together, kind of like how rather than just having like a cube clipped like this, if there's actual geometry for it to merge to, it would merge them together. And I found you could do that using geometry nodes. Now, at the moment, since I don't know how to correct it by the location thing, there's probably a way of doing that, but for now they need to have the same origin point, essentially. So I have them all lined up at the origin of the world, so I shift this cube up by 1, so that way it's touching its bottom vertices at the top of this cube's. I then take this cube's top and I separate it by selection because I want it to be its own little separate thing as well. And to prevent this face from just merging into the other one, I'm going to delete it as well, so that way they are all separate. And then what I do is I go in to this one, go to geometry nodes, make new, and what I need at first is a object info node. So this way I can take an object as input. What I then want to do is take it and put that into a join geometry. I want to merge by distance so it actually merges their vertices together. But to make it so I can toggle it on and off, I want a switch. So this way I can determine what it outputs. So only if the switch is true, which I can make as a group input. So now if I go to this, I have this. So now what I can do is attach this to it, toggle that one, duplicate this, have it be for the top thing, and now if I toggle it, it now properly has the parts that merge. Now of course, if you wanted this to work on a character, you'd probably want it to support an armature. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add a armature, move it down to properly associate, so this way it will fit both of the cubes. Now what I can do is I will attach all of them to the same armature to make sure that they all have the correct vertex groups and actually attached to it. But you'll notice when I go and move it, they don't all exactly line up. And this does in fact remain true for their toggled versions because, yeah, well, the armature doesn't work if it's at the bottom. This is due to the fact that apparently it applies vertex groups as a attribute, I think is what it says. So if I go and look at it here under attributes, you can see it's put them here for some reason, which requires that you'd have to go through and convert it, which is why it doesn't allow you, or that's why it doesn't work with the armature at the bottom, because for now it doesn't do that. Hopefully in the future they fix that, but for now they all have to be attached to the armature, and then I have to have the armature at the top so it's properly working off of each one's individual vertex groups. But due to the way the automatic weight painting worked, they didn't exactly line up. Now there is a way to fix that, which is if I go through and toggle that off, go through and undo this, I unhide them, what I can do is take this one and go to this one, go to weight paint, go to transfer weights, but set the source layer to by name, keep it on nearest vertex group, or nearest vertex, but I only want it to do neighboring geometry, so I'm going to lower this distance so it's only grabbing essentially the ones that should be merged together. So 001 meters should be working here. And now I'm going to want to do it for this one as well. I went to texture paint, transfer weights, and this should have worked. Let me double check that. So now if I cancel these, go to the switch and rotate it, you can see that it has properly made it so that they have the exact same weights by transferring them to duplicate it from the other one. So now it will follow it and actually merge them together. This is really useful if you wanted to actually have characters have such things, such as things that you can toggle, because now I can effectively toggle this and put a cap back on the cube. This could be used for a lot of different things on characters, for just toggling things, or even static objects where you want to actually toggle features on them that actually get merged with them. As proof that it actually gets merged with them, I can add a subdivision surface. This wouldn't work if they weren't merged together, because it would not know to smooth them like this. Instead, you would have like a circle from the plane getting smoothed at the top. And if I untoggle it, see, it's not there. And now it's got the other cube stacked on top of it. So this has, in my opinion, some pretty cool possibilities, such as allowing parts of characters to be toggled on and off in Blender dynamically, and then being able to work with them on armatures if you can link up the vertex groups correctly. So hopefully you can find some cool use for this and, make some cool stuff.